My name is Darcy Neal. I am the STEAM Spaces Coordinator for PCC Cascade, and I spend most of my time hanging out in the FABlab, running the equipment there, and facilitating for new students to learn how to use the equipment. But I really like coming over to the VRlab and helping out over here. In the VRlab, there's a lot of different pieces of software that are available to play around in and experiment with. There's games, there's Google Earth, where you can go anywhere in the world and explore. There's also this anatomical program that's really cool that allows you to look at organs and different skeletal parts of the body. You can go exploring underwater, so you're swimming through the ocean, and you can explore the coral reef. So stepping into a VR environment, it's a completely immersive experience. And so today I decided that I wanted to work on a sculpture for a creature that I could either 3D print or I could bring into VR chat, and so we could animate it so that it can move around. And so I kind of had an idea about doing this flower creature, and then I decided to add a skull onto it, so it was this weird cat skull of a flower creature thing. And so I kind of sketched out some ideas and then just got into the VR environment and put on my headset and just started going at it and started sculpting. The sculpt that I was working on today, it took me about 30 minutes to do, and that was from start to finish, including coloring it. And then I exported that as an OBJ file that we can then animate it so that it can move around. We could take it down to the FABlab and we can print it on the 3D printer. And we have a couple of 3D printers that will be able to print it out of PLA. It won't have the color information when we do that, but we can always hand paint that back if we really wanted to. Beyond even just 3D printing it, we could also use some of the other equipment that's there in order to reproduce it. We have the laser cutter that we could use to burn an image of it onto, say, a piece of wood or something. And then you could stain it, and that would be a really beautiful, high-quality wooden sculpt at that point. And so that's another way that you could reproduce it in the FABlab. I might turn this into a piece of art with a 2D image in Photoshop. We could turn it into vinyl stickers, so maybe this guy, the creature might end up being my new mascot or something, so I might make a motto for it and then have stickers that go along with it, or just laser cut different signage for it. So there's a lot of possibilities that you could do with just this one sculpt. It can be applied to any 2D or 3D medium that you can imagine. I think this is just such a great environment, and it's such a good resource for students to have access to this, whether it's for working on their school assignment or if they're pursuing their own personal enrichment or entrepreneurism outside of their classwork. It's a totally free resource. I totally encourage people to come by and check it out and give VR a try, because this is the future.